So the new Zombies map Firebase Z is now out for Black Ops Cold War, and with this map comes a brand new wonder weapon known as the RAI K-84. This thing is incredible at taking out zombies and even special enemies such as mimics and manglers, and it's even better again when pack-a-punched. So in today's video I'm going to show you guys how to unlock the RAI K-84 for Firebase Z as easily and as quickly as possible, and include some tips on how to make the challenge a little easier. If you follow these steps, you'll be able to find all the parts to build the wonder weapon, but bear in mind you can also obtain this weapon from the mystery box or from completing trials. However, I'm just going to focus on how to build the weapon in this video. If you want to check out any other guides for this map or any camo challenge guides on my channel, I'll have a card for those on screen and links in the description, so feel free to check that out. But without further ado, let's get into this guide. So the first step to build this wonder weapon is to turn on the power by activating all ether reactors around the map. So basically in the starting room when you first spawn into the map, you need to head into the building by quick revive, and if you go up the stairs you'll find the teleporter on the roof. Obviously use that to teleport to the base, step through the portal, and then once you have teleported you'll be in the central region of the base. You need to then unlock the doors to your left, straight ahead, and to the right. So there's kind of like 3 areas of the base and you're in the central region. Each of these 3 areas will have an ether reactor which will be easy to find as there are diamonds on screen to show you how to get there. Like as part of the HUD it will say where they are. At each reactor you need to hold square or X to activate it, and that will cost 500 points. So for each area you need enough to buy about 2 doors plus 500 points to start it. Once you've done this you need to kill 12 zombies in close proximity to the reactor while also protecting the collectors. They'll either be 2 or 3 around the ether reactor, and zombies will go up to them and try and hit them, so you need to stop them from doing so and killing them before they fully damage them. There'll be a damage bar as well which will tell you how much damage you're taking. You'll know if any are taking damage because the diamond for that collector will turn red if it's being hit by zombies. Once all those zombie souls have been collected and it's fully activated the generator, repeat this process for the other 2 ether reactors so that power is completely on the map. Once you've done that we can then move on to the next step. So then what we need to do is we need to head to the weapons lab, which is kind of the area to the right of the main room at the base. So when you first spawn, if you look right, it's that area, and I'll show you how to get there. And at the end of the room on the wall will be a blueprint for this wonder weapon. What you need to do obviously is go over to it and pick it up. You'll then be told to complete a retinal scan, and to do this you must find the right body and remove or collect the corpse's eyeball so you can bring it back to the computer. So this body can be found at one of the defense areas on the map near a set of trenches or a tank, and then obviously you just need to go up to the body, hold square or X. A little bit gruesome, but never mind. And then once the eye is collected, return to the weapons lab and hold square or X to deposit it. Now after this, a drawer below the computer will be opened and a key will be revealed. You obviously need to take the key, and what you need to do is you need to head to the bunkers, and to get there what you need to do is you need to go up that corridor straight ahead of the main area at Firebase Z. So there's 2 bunker huts, one on the left and one on the right of this main corridor. Bunker 1 on the left will have 6 lockers and bunker 2 on the right will have 3. So what you need to do is you need to go up to each of these lockers and use the key on them. It doesn't matter what order, just keep opening lockers, but some of them are between like bunk beds, so try not to get trapped by zombies. That's not a good idea. Basically once you've opened enough lockers, at one point a mimic will spawn. There'll probably be several of them, and one of them that spawns, once you kill them they'll drop a barrel stabilizer. You obviously just need to collect this item. Once you've collected the item you need to return to the weapons lab and interact with the computer. Now it will show a circle with segments which represents a dartboard. You don't have to do this step next, you could do the step 6, however this one's easier because we have to wait around for the next step, so it's probably better to do this first, even though some people will probably tell you to do the other way around. But this is what I find easier because it just means it can be done quicker. So that circle on the computer, what you need to do is you need to carefully watch the pattern that the computer shows you. So it's useful to use like grenades to make a crawler zombie, or to use stun grenades or whatever, just so you can have a little bit of time to look at the computer. It'll probably take at least 10 seconds to show you what you need to see. So basically when you interact with the computer it will show you which 3 segments are needed for the next step. So what it will do is it will beep while moving around the circle in segments. Probably easier once you see on screen what I mean. At one point when it's beeping it will stop, it will pause on a specific segment and it will highlight that one. That indicates that it's the correct segment that you need to focus on, and then what it will do is it will do 2 more. So it will keep beeping, and at a certain point it will pause again. It will do that for all 3 segments to highlight which ones we need to focus on. And like I said, those 3 segments correspond to a specific area on a dartboard, which we're going to look at later. The best strategy I've found is to count how many beeps there are, i.e. segments, that the computer counts around the circle in a clockwise direction, but bear in mind obviously that the 12 o'clock position is the first beep. So count how many beeps it goes around in a clockwise direction, and then what it will do is it will switch back to going counterclockwise again. So you need to count how many beeps it goes from the correct segment the first time, then count how many beeps it goes around the opposite direction, so the counterclockwise direction, and then finally it will then switch to going clockwise again, and you need to count how many beeps in the clockwise direction. So for me, for example, it counted 4 beeps in the clockwise direction, including that 12 o'clock segment. So it was the 12 o'clock segment, the first one, plus 3 others. So i.e. it's the 4th segment to the right, or clockwise. It then counted 9 backwards from that segment, i.e. in the counterclockwise direction, and then finally it counted 3 back towards the clockwise direction again. So what you need to do is you need to write down this information. So you could write down how many beeps clockwise, counterclockwise, and then clockwise again, or you could take a picture of when it stops, or a video or something. It's up to you guys, but just need to write it down so you can remember it. I hope that step's pretty clear, but if not, hopefully it should become a little bit easier once I start talking about the next step. So after you've done that, and you've noted which positions on the circle, you need to head back to the village, i.e. the starting area, so you need to teleport back there, and turn left in the building with a pack punch. You'll come to a small room with a dartboard on the wall, and like I said, obviously this dartboard corresponds to which segments we want to focus on from that circle in the weapons lab. So what you need to do is you need to shoot these 3 correct locations on the dartboard, and then shoot the bullseye in the center of the dartboard in rapid succession. So you need to make those 4 shots very quickly. I recommend working out which numbers on the dartboard you need to shoot first to make it quicker. So for example, in my case, the segments were like 4 beeps to the right, and then 9 to the left, and then 3 to the right again. So this corresponded to the numbers 4, 8, and 9 on the dartboard. If you're not sure about this, or you don't want to get there and find you've done it wrong, you can always Google a dartboard just to see what numbers there are. It's the same thing. I'll try and throw that up on screen to make it a little bit easier. But yeah, so those were the numbers it corresponded to. Once you know what numbers you're shooting, go to the dartboard and shoot, for example in my case, shoot the number 4, shoot 8, and shoot 9 on the dartboard, and then very quickly shoot the bullseye in the center. If you've done this step correctly, a part will drop out of the dartboard onto the floor for you to pick up. I believe you can only shoot 1 bullet for each segment of the dartboard, i.e. you can't shoot one segment with 2 bullets and then the rest with 1 or whatever for it to count, so it has to be 1 bullet per segment. So if the numbers were 4, 8, 9, you need to shoot 1 bullet for 4, 1 bullet for 8, and 1 bullet for 9, and then 1 in the center obviously. So if this happens, you've accidentally shot 2 bullets into 1, I can't necessarily rule out that it won't count, but for me it didn't count. And so I suggest if you can't get it to work, try it again so it's just 1 bullet for each number. And also it may be handy to have a stun grenade or a symbol monkey or crawler, just so that you can focus on this step and not have to worry about anything else. Finally, remember for this step that the positions on the dartboard are random for each game, so it's not as simple as just learning them or copying the same numbers as me. You have to actually work out what numbers it wants you to put in based on your game. And once you've completed this step, you need to teleport back to the base for the last major step. What you need to do now, and this is why I recommended doing the previous step first, is you need to wait for a Mangler to spawn and kill it. Now these enemies typically don't spawn in until at least round 15 plus. So for me it was round 16. And also bear in mind that not every Mangler will give you the part, so it may take several Manglers that you need to kill in order to give you the part, so if you don't get it first time, don't worry. You will notice that these enemies stop to charge up their hand cannon, and while this is charging, which you'll notice by it making a noise and glowing, you need to shoot the hand cannon. If you keep doing this, you'll kill the Mangler and get the part, but if you don't shoot the cannon, I believe it won't count and you won't get the part. So make sure you're shooting that cannon while it's charging in order to get this step done correctly. So once you've been shooting the hand cannon and you kill him, the Mangler will drop an uncharged power cell. You need to obviously go and pick that up. Once you pick up this power cell, you need to return to the lab and to the table on the right of the room. If it's the main entrance, it's when you first come in. Hold square or X to place the cell into a charger to charge it up. It will take 1 full round to charge. So for example, if you placed it onto charge at the end of round 16, you'll need to wait all of round 17 and then collect it again once round 18 starts. So after this, you now have all the required parts and can return to the crafting table behind you in the weapons lab next to the computer you were using earlier. If you go up to this table and hold square or X until the bar fills, you'll be given the RAI K-84 wonder weapon which you've built. Now the good thing as well, once you've built this weapon, you'll actually get a piece of intel which helps towards the final collection of intel, so you definitely need to do this if you're wanting to go for all the intel in the map. You'll automatically get it when you build the weapon, and as I said, this weapon is pretty good as it is, but don't forget you can return to the village to pack-a-punch it, and at pack-a-punch level 2 or 3 the weapon's pretty amazing and takes out special enemies super fast. I hope you found this useful. If you did, feel free to check out any other Cold War guides, and leaving a like on the video would be much appreciated. If you want to keep up to date with more Firebase Z, zombies and Cold War or Warzone videos, make sure to subscribe with your post notifications turned on by clicking the bell icon. Thank you all so much for watching, hope you found it useful, and hopefully I'll see you all on the next video.